listen, I got to give credit just like I did with Big Boy yesterday. I got to give credit what credit's due, man. He was sitting and he was talking about this the entire time. Richard Hart's here. Richard, how's it going, man?
Twitter Spaces kind of sucks, mate.
Sucks.
I had to reboot the phone.
Ridiculous, man.
No, I left a room with 12,000 people in it to join your 100-person room, so let's make it good.
I love you, Richard. Richard, listen, just starting off quickly, you sat and you continue to scream daily about things going down, things not surviving.
True, that's true. I said
you feel vindicated now?
I mean, I want my price targets to hit as well. So I called the Bitcoin top on the day over a year and a half ago. I told you not your keys, not your coins. Don't pick up pennies in front of freight trains. Take your money out of Celsius. Take your money out of BlockFi. Take your money off exchanges. People that listened that were saved. People that didn't listen are ultra wrecked and super mad about it. So when I post videos of me spending 30, 40K per shopping trip at Prada, Louis Vuitton, you name it, they get really butthurt. They really get really mad. But what they don't realize is when you're a winner and you do things right, you get to live a rich person life. When you're a loser, you get things wrong, you get to stay wrecked. A lot of these guys are perma-wrecked because they didn't have the brain to listen to the free advice I was giving. So every 4 years, Bitcoin goes down 85%. 85% dump is 10,350. So I say 11K and pray and hope that all this extra leverage and all this extra US dollar getting more expensive for the first time in 20 years, doesn't make it go farther. So it hasn't even hit that target yet, right? It's still like 16K, something like that. Well, 16K is a lot more than 10K. So I want to see it hit my target. And same for Ethereum. I'd like to see a 95% drop in Ethereum. That'd be nice. I think it'd bring you to $250. That ought to really make some people sad. But, who knows? Maybe 500 is okay too. Let's see.
If it stops here, are you okay with it?
No, not. Let's do the math. Ready?
You want to be greedy. You want to acquire.
It's not about greed. It's about buying a good solid bottom and not buying the dip that keeps dipping. So what more Bitcoin things have to get resolved? $1 billion that just got seized from the Silk Road hacker. $2 billion that got seized from the Finex hacker. $1 billion or 2 or 3 of Pulsechain that the Pulsechain Ponzi in China seized. The Mt. Gox, 140,000 coins. I don't know how many dollars that is anymore. What is that? 2 billion? It's all billions, mate. And Sailor took on leverage. Let's see him get liquidated too. Yeah, liquidate all the idiots. And then you've got, the price is where it is now without any of that stuff being sold. What happens when that stuff gets sold? So
you think Sailor's going to get liquidated?
I think that he will have to keep adding margin to his position as it goes down. Whether his margin large enough to have him sell all of what he had, it probably wasn't. So he'll probably just be hurt financially very heavily, but he probably won't lose his entire stack. He'll just probably lose a decent portion of it. But a guy that buys the top that hard and keeps adding the whole way down kind of deserves to lose his whole stack. So
did you see, sitting back and observing this entire industry, did you see FTX happening?
Dude, it happens every single time, man. Like, I tweeted about it. I'm like, look, this guy he's a trader. He runs a trading desk. He liquidates people for a living. Who do you think's on the other side of his winning trades? Losing traders. You think he's here to save you? He's here to destroy you. He's advertising margin trading on e-gaming where kids watch. He's going to get kids addicted to get FOMO tarding and leverage trading, the most destructive thing that could ever happen to these people. So no, not a good person, not a good business model. Get everyone wrecked, not a good business model. So you're going to continue to see these things happen over and over again. Oh, look, some company from the Bahamas went bankrupt. Oh, really? Wow, I could never expected that. The Bahamian companies are just so strong normally. Retarded.
Yeah, but whose fault is that? Is that the SEC's fault because they didn't give clarity?
No. What the fuck does the SEC have to do with the Bahamas, bro?
Well, because if they would have given people clarity to go ahead and build in the United States and not chase everybody off.
If they would stop creating these regulatory walls to make so the scum will serve. Yeah, true. I wish that they would be better, and then better companies might participate. Yeah, they need to lower their.
You don't think it was a puppet though? Like, can you I'm looking at his pictures. I'm looking at his pictures, him and Caroline, and I still can't imagine these two pulling something off like this. I'm not saying, hey, people, they're innocent. No. All I'm saying is, you don't think they weren't puppets and there were people pulling things behind the scenes?
Nah, dude, I don't think so. Look, when you give idiots leverage, they kill themselves every time. So it doesn't matter how smart you are. You have leverage, you're getting blown up. That's how it works. Leverage equals blown up. I don't care who you are, what you think you know, or what advantages you have. Doesn't matter. They had their own coin, their own trading firm, their own fiat on-ramps, their own prop desk. Didn't matter. Liquidated. They had every advantage you could possibly have. Didn't matter.
Why is the media protecting him so hard though? Because Madoff
Probably
was an
because the
handcuffs.
media is pro-Democrat and he gave 50+ mil to Democrats. My guess.
I think he
Maybe
gave.
it's
I think
maybe
he
it's
gave
because
money to
Caroline's
everybody though.
dad used to be the boss of Gensler. I don't know. So that's what the internet says. I haven't personally fact checked it, but seems like a weird one to make up otherwise.
Who's next? Like
Probably Nexo.
Gemini right now is experiencing outages. I hope they're not next. But
I
who
would
do you think
assume
is
Nexo
next?
would be next, probably. Any XO, probably.
You think so?
Well, why not? I mean, what? Like they offer yield. Okay, well, seems like every yield thing's going under. I don't have any other evidence. There's no evidence. You just told me to guess, so there's your guess.
Jesus Christ! What a time! And do you feel like I feel like the
I
bear
was right
market?
about everything. I'm happy. So like, go everyone. Go lose all your money. Help bring the price down. Thanks. Hit my price target. The people that are smart will go get rich in the next bull run. You guys can all watch from the sideline. Go get real jobs. Save up your money.
Hey, Richard, all these companies offering yield are going under. How's Hex able to hold up with your yield product during these conditions?
Well, I mean, the average stake length in Hex is 7 or 8 years. And so when people lock up, on average, they're locking up for a real time. And so these relatively short time frame perturbations don't really matter to hardcore Hexicans that have 5555 tattoos, which is 15 years. It's 5,555 days. So I bought the world's largest diamond, and it's 555.55 carats. And that's to honor and respect the Hexican cultural heritage. So, we also have perfect flawless operation. We also have no employees. So the code just runs. You run it. You are the code. You inflate the supply yourself to generate your own rewards, just like a Bitcoin miner does. Except you don't have to blow up the environment as much to do it. So hex stakers are paid to hold the price up through reducing the supply, through destroying their coins, which we call staking. But really, the coins are destroyed. And then in Bitcoin, you're incentivized with inflation to destroy the environment. And then maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the people destroy the environment less because they use renewable. And then, hopefully that using of the renewable doesn't starve it from other industries that would have used it and now has to use, crappier electricity. It's just stupid. Like, we know proof of stake works. So why are we blowing up the environment? No particularly good reason.
Why is there so much pushback on Hex, Rich? What's the
Well,
agenda?
people are mad. They're mad that they missed the 10,000x returns. They're mad that everything else failed all around us while we have perfect, flawless operation for 3 years. They're mad that I founded it and I'm a better human being than they are. And I own more stuff than they do and torque better than they do and do better pull tricks than they do and raise more money for charity, $27 million for charity raised, and write more free self-help books, t.me/scivive, and predict the prices better and predict the failures better. Like, I'm just a better human being in every single way compared to anyone else in cryptocurrency. I'm the best human being in this industry. You're going to mention CZ? CZ, the 100x leverage CZ? That the guy that got for 50 million, that one? No, he's not as good as me. How much he raised for charity? Not 27 million? Okay. I win. Who's next? I'm the best human being in this industry, and I have the best product, and we're winning. So eventually people will get it.
Speaking
I
of
bet
CZ,
your farts smell like roses too.
Nah, my farts smell nasty, dude. You should come smell one. I'll send you one in a bottle if you give me your address.
well, you guys can talk about that later. CZ trying to acquire during that time of the beginning of the collapse. CZ saying or tweeting out that he was going to, after doing his due diligence, going to take on FTX.
Tell him to go buy all the Grayscale 50% off Grayscale Bitcoin. Go ahead, CZ. You got big pockets, bro.
But you don't think he ever had an intention to buy it, though?
I mean, I don't really care. Like, I don't care whether CZ buys out someone else's bad debt or not. What do I care? I prefer to get a better deal. I prefer everyone sell the bottom. I prefer the U.S. government sell the bottom. I prefer China sell the bottom. I prefer everyone get liquidated at the bottom. Sell the bottom, all you idiots that couldn't listen. Get bye-bye. Bye-bye. You don't get to be on the next bull run. Okay. But the winners, we get to be.
And the next bull run, what are your predictions?
I think Bitcoin's going to be pretty limp. I mean, maybe you get 100K out of it. Maybe get another 3X. Cool. I think Ethereum's going to flip it. So, I don't know. Maybe
Flip
from
it
the
via
bottom,
market
you
cap,
could get
right?
another 50, 60X maybe. And then something like Hex. Look, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't, these are just guesses I'm pulling on my butt. But historically, my guesses have been pretty sick. I think Hex is going to outperform by leaps and bounds everything else because it's just so much easier to go up. So, you take $100 million, you buy Hex, the price goes up many multiples. Ethereum doesn't go up any multiple. Bitcoin doesn't go up any multiple. They're just too heavy. They get too many users. It's got too much liquidity. So liquidity is the enemy on the top side. On the sell side, liquidity is the friend on the bid side.
I'll let the audience ask questions. Go for it, Maddie. If you had a question, Steven or James.
Yeah, why are you guys spreading FUD? I mean, Gemini's out there saying they had a server error. Is every server error now a liquidity issue?
I mean, so I'll give you some counter FUD. I think the guys most terrified of being fractionally reserved are guys with bit licenses, and Gemini has a bit license. But I also personally know people that can't get their money off Gemini. So on the one hand, sure, they're probably under the most strict regulatory regime in the entire universe. But on the other hand, who cares? I know people that can't get their money off. So now what? You know what I'm saying?
How long?
Yeah.
How long have they been trying to get their money off?
I don't know, a few months.
Well, forget about that.
Well, if you can bring one up, I'd like to speak with them because I've had withdrawals from Gemini within the last few months. Never had an issue with them.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that anecdote's really strong.
Well, Maddie, if you didn't see
sample size of one
from the official account, they're experiencing Amazon Web Services issues. So,
well, let me put it this way.
Yeah, that's a site outage. That's not a liquidity issue. You guys are out here like the platform's about to go down.
I have absolutely no evidence that Gemini has any liquidity issues at all.
Hold on. What does it say? Gemini experiencing outages.
The website is, it's an Amazon service. It's web hosting.
Maddie, that's the title.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't remember hearing anyone on here say that Gemini had liquidity problems. I didn't hear anyone here say that. I didn't say it. I don't know anyone. I didn't hear anyone say it. I think only you said it. Maybe you should stop fudding.
Oh, maybe I should then. I'm sorry if I misheard you. That's my fault.
It's all good. No.
I don't think anybody in this room ever said Gemini.
But let me ask you a question.
Gemini don't.
Why on earth would you take the chance? Why on earth would you take the chance? They promoted a failed product to their users. They promoted something to their users that just got their users wrecked. Their users can't withdraw from their partner in the Earn program. So they fucked their users. So why would you take a chance? Why would you risk your stack to find out? Remove your money. It's that easy.
Well, I know plenty of people who got burned on Hex as well, my friend. So maybe you should tread lightly.
Yeah, but there's shit you can't. Price volatility is not something you can program out of a speculative instrument. I know people that got wrecked on Facebook. I got people that got wrecked on Amazon. Speculative instruments have price volatility. You can't program that away. 100% perfect flawless operation with 100% uptime is what Hex has. And guess what? It's not what Gemini has. We're at 100% uptime. Gemini isn't. Our shit works perfectly for 3 years, and no one else's does.
Well, Gemini has segregated client accounts, and that's enforced by the tightest regulation in the world.
Yes, yes, I know, but you're repeating me to me. The bit license is very strict. I know, which is why so few companies have them.
Right. So one thing that
do you have stock in Gemini or some shit, or did you suck the Wicklevi off in your weekends, or like what's the deal? Why do you like these guys so much? They're just another shit exchange with no liquidity.
Please watch your language.
No, fuck you. I'll use whatever language I want. Suck my balls, kid. I'm an adult. I'll speak however I like.
You're speaking like a
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to control my language?
All right. So let me explain something about Hex for all that are listening, because people are already DMing me going, who is this Richard Hart fuck? It's very simple. Hex is a Ponzi scheme. It's a very clear and blatant Ponzi scheme. They have basically advertised outrageous percentage gains promised to their users without any sort of disclaimer.
That's completely false. That's completely false, guys. Don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to this guy. Dude, are you serious? Are you serious?
On black cabs in London, dude, with my own eyes.
Every single user that uses its own seed phrase interacts with a contract that no one owns, no admin keys, and we generate our own yield off of.
I'm talking about the advertisement. No one actually promised to users. This is a red flag.
Please be quiet.
You cannot promise 5,000% gains to a user.
They're not promising 5,000 gains.
I've seen it. Don't fucking lie to me. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Stop.
Advertisements that say buy Hex and get 5,000% gains on black cabs in London.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time. One at a time. This is not the Royal Rumble, man.
No, but I'm like,
hey, can I tell you what the black cabs?
No, let me speak for 10 seconds, and then you can say whatever the fuck you want, because you're dirty fucking mouth already.
You're lying.
Really?
You could calculate your own APY dependent on how many people or supply is dependent on how much their supply currently. So
Ponzi-nomics, dude. Ponzi-nomics. You use money from the new people to pay off the old people. That's how Ponzi's work, asshole.
Money from everyone else. Then you have to call Bitcoin a Ponzi. You have to call your housing market a Ponzi.
No. Bitcoin is an asset.
All right. I invited Richard here to go ahead and speak about the markets. Richard, go ahead and take the mic, and then Maddie, if you want to have a rebuttal, go for it. I'm not Roman Reigns and John Cena is not here. I'm gonna let everybody talk, but we're not doing this Royal Rumble shit.
Yes, quite simply, if I remember, and it is on the homepage of Hex.com, there were advertisements on taxi cabs in London that said Hex is up, I think it was 1,100% or 11,000%. And you want to know what happened after those ads? The price went up another 100x. So this guy flapping his lips here about how unrealistic the ads were and how wrong the ads were is wildly wrong based on math. Hex went up 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%, not including its staking rewards. And do you know where all that money came from? Do you know where all that profit came from? The same place Bitcoin miners' profit came from, inflation. Bitcoin miners inflate the supply to blow up the environment. Hex stakers inflate the supply to support the price. It's just Bitcoin with a proof of work change and has a very low inflation rate. It has a maximum 3.69% inflation rate, whereas Bitcoin had a 3.89% inflation rate on its way to $20,000. And it was exponentially higher in the past. As a matter of fact, many people don't know this, the best time to buy Bitcoin was when Satoshi owned 100% of the supply, when it was called a scam by everyone, when there was no liquidity, where there was no place to buy it, and when the inflation rate was the highest. It had a 10,000% annualized inflation rate very early on, because that's what happens when you go from no coins to 50 coins. 100 coins to 150 to 200. There used to be 50 Bitcoin block rewards back then, back when I used to mine it when it was 50 cents and it was free. As a matter of fact, it was so free, you didn't even have to include a transaction fee. People would just include your transactions for free. No one cared. Didn't even have a price back then. So I invented something that we need in cryptocurrency, which is time deposits. Bitcoin tried to be a currency, failed. Hex tries to be a time deposit, but it's not like a real time deposit. A real time deposit doesn't pay you more when other people end stake. A time deposit doesn't pay you more when other people lie about their stake and end it before they should have. But in this system, it does. And by the way, when people complain about 40% APY gains, guess what? That's the APY in Hex. The actual APY was millions of percent because it was 1,000,000% USD gain times your APY. So when I hear people complain about the 40% APY, I think it's really funny because depending on how long you staked and when you get in and when you get out, it could have been 1.5 million%. So all it is Bitcoin with a proof of work change. It's been operating flawlessly for 3 years. It has less negative externalities. It was given away for free to Bitcoin holders. And while everything else has failed all around us, it's operated perfectly, flawlessly, wonderfully. And guess what? These type of gains, these, insane gains, they're very similar to what Bitcoin did. They're very similar to what Ethereum did. They're very similar to what BNB did. They're very similar to what Dogecoin did. They're very similar to what Litecoin did. These types of gains and performance we've seen over and over and over again. And guess what? They don't need to be Ponzi's. For a Ponzi to exist, you have to have a middleman that controls who gets paid. He makes a promise that he's going to pay you based on a profitable business, and he lies. He doesn't have a profitable business. And so what he does is he takes money from new guys and gives it to old guys. In Hex, it's the opposite. In Hex, when you mint your inflation, you're just minting stuff that's not money. And it's only money if you use the fruits of your own labor to generate something, to offer for sale on the market, to dilute all the other things that previously existed. It's just like mining Bitcoin. So I don't understand the claim to Ponzi. I don't understand the claim to bubble. We're still up 60,000%. Yes, we're down 95%, but still up 60,000%. Because when you go up 10,000x, going down 20x, which is a 95% drop, doesn't cancel the 10,000x. And so I invented the thing that we need in finance to monetize time, the thing that puts people in control of their own keys, the thing that removes counterparty risk, the thing where you mint your own rewards, you hold your own keys. There are no middlemen. No one can surrender rewards. And then people yell at me, and I think it's hilarious.
I only yelled at you because you used some very foul language. I'm sorry.
It's not foul. It's fun. You just need to upgrade your adultness.
No, telling somebody to suck off somebody else is not. It's not funny. It's just you're trying to get under my skin on purpose.
I've watched a lot of comedy shows, and I'm telling you, it is funny.
My turn for rebuttal. I was very quiet while you spoke, please. As a licensed portfolio manager, somebody who's holding a SISEC advanced examination, which allows me to trade clients' funds. Basically, you need to use a disclaimer. When you have a advertisement that says how much gains were gained in the past, it says past performance.
It's literally written on the advertisement. That is literally written in the advertisement. It is literally...
You keep interrupting me. That's not okay. I sat there for 3 minutes and listened to your BS.
No,
My
but
turn
it's
to speak.
on hex.com. I can see the disclaimer. I've seen the ad.
Please.
It says past performance is no indicator of future performance, and you could lose all your money or something to that
You are a
effect.
liar. You are a liar because your website never said this. I went through your website up and down, did not see a single disclaimer. I went through the advertisements in The Economist and on the taxi cab. There was no disclaimer.
The Economist ads were there too, bro.
But you know what? I'm not.
You're lying.
I'm not
bro.
here to disclaimer. Okay. Want to compare yourself to Bitcoin? I could take a Bitcoin and send it to anyone, anywhere in the world. They can accept it and easily transfer it into money. Not the same with Hex. You know what?
Oh yeah, really? You're lying again. You turn it into Ethereum on Uniswap with no middlemen.
Yo, what are you talking about? It's actually more trustless because Bitcoin, the only way you could do it is someone else has to buy it on the other side because Bitcoin actually doesn't even have the same liquidity. If you want to sell your money right now, you could go without no one else telling you what to do and you get it. There's liquidity pools for that on Uniswap. All these things. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, and no disclaimer thing just drives me wild because I give the most disclaimers. I'm the guy that tells you all crypto drops 85%. I'm the guy that tells you that it could go to zero. You literally click the disclaimer on the site. It says you're lucky the stuff works at all.
To do than argue with scammers all day. Everybody in this room understand that this is a Ponzi scheme.
Dude, we don't have. Dude,
all right, have a good day. Bye-bye.
We have no liability to actually, like, what are you talking about? This guy said that someone went and said his opinion, said Hex is up this. It's actual facts. You can go check on the chart. He's not lying. He's saying it. Hex.com didn't put that. We did that. We did the NASCAR. We did everything. Richard himself went and got the diamond, which got, by the way, good job, Richard. $4.2 million for International Press Forever. Good job. People actually downplay that like crazy. And then this guy comes, oh, can't put that. You have to put a disclaimer. Why should an individual, off their opinion, put a disclaimer when they have no ties to the company?
But there's disclaimers all over the place anyway. The site is riddled with disclaimers.
Please, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it doesn't make sense. It really, I'm fed up with this.
No, I think he was a little bit mad because he came up here and he started accusing people of saying that we said that what you call it, Gemini's going down. No, it's just like they're experiencing outages. It's the truth. They sent out the letters themselves.
100%.
Nobody said
that. I bet you that guy just got wrecked on FTX, bro. He's super tilted.
It's Max Payne. They haven't gone through it yet. It's Max Payne.
It seems to me he came up here making a bad faith argument, a straw man argument essentially about Gemini, and went right into other straw man arguments against Hex. Anyway, Richard, what is, if you had to pick one thing that people misunderstand about Hex the most, that you would like to address, what would that be?
Oh, dude, we get these all the time. People hear the 7-year lock and they're like, what's going to happen in 7 years, bro? And you're like, well, during that time after now, people keep staking. And actually, from our analysis, they keep staking longer and longer. I used to brag about when it was 4 years. Now I'm bragging about it being 7 and 8 years. The average stake length seems to keep going up. The share price keeps going up. It's amazing. But they don't get it. They understand it backwards. He just said it's harder to divest from. There's nothing easier to divest from. Without changing chains, without using bridges, without using middlemen, you can de-risk from Hex into USDC or DAI or TUSD or USDT or whatever you want with no counterparty risk, no middlemen, on the most liquid market for the product with the absolute minimum counterparty risk possible and the least spoofing and the least fees. It's just amazing. And then he literally says the opposite to my face in all seriousness. He's like, you can't sell it, bro. You're like, really? That's funny. How do you think the price got down 95%? People selling it. How do you think people bought all these Lambos? People selling it. The things this person says don't make any sense in the real world. You can go to the website and read all the disclaimers now. It's covered in disclaimers. You can go click the taxi ad and read the disclaimer.
There's actually a newspaper that was pulled up just now, and there is a disclaimer that says values go up and down often. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. Your capital is at risk. Unregulated product with no investor protections.
Thank you. Yes, that sounds like the disclaimer from the Economist ad. So I just, when a person comes up so mad and says everything the opposite of what is true, it drives me wild. It's crazy to me. I don't get it. Because it's so easy to disprove. You say it doesn't have a disclaimer. I got the picture on the site. Go click the disclaimer link at the bottom of the page. It says you're lucky this stuff works at all. It can go to zero. Solar flare can knock it all down. Block software is hard. Blockchain software is harder. You can't get more disclaimers. I'm the guy that tells you crypto drops 85% all the time. Anybody else tell you that? No, it's me. So it's tragic. You know, maybe he'll just lose all his money and sell the bottom. I'll be all right with that. But unfortunately, because he's a registered financial loser, he's going to lose other people's monies too. He probably already has. Guess what? I'm not a registered financial anything, and I haven't lost anybody's money, so go me. Hey, you want to know how much hurt I got in these exchange things? I have no money in FTX. I have no money in BlockFi. I have no money in Celsius. Go me. It's hilarious to me, dude.
Anybody has a normal question for Richard?
Yeah, Richard. As an OG in this space, one of the theories was over time the Bitcoin would reduce, right? So we had a 95% drawdown first cycle, 85 the second. We're at 79 right now. And the last cycle we had major pumps, right? 7 to 14K, 100% pumps. This one we had a pretty weak one from 35 to 50, which represents 50% pump. So just wondering, what are your thoughts on volatility decreasing over time?
Yeah, it's limp dick, dead, weak gains forever now. Everybody already knows about it. You're the last guy in. You ain't new. You're not an early adopter. It's 13 years old. Bitcoin's never going to have mad gains again. Never. Never, 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 never. And by the way, you know who you're making rich? The bankers, the venture capitalists, the governments. You're not making the people rich. You know who doesn't have much hex? Venture capitalists, governments, Bitfinex hackers, Silk Road hackers, Plus Token, China seizure. Nope, they ain't got no hex. And they probably don't have any Pulsechain. So it's like we're winning the game in every way the game can be won. Bitcoin dropped 75, more now. You told me 79. Cool. Ethereum dropped 85. Maybe it's more now, but it's probably still 85. And then Hex dropped 95, but it's been paying interest the whole time. Awesome. It's great. Couldn't be happier. Well, I could be happier when my price targets get hit.
Trillion X, what's going on? My question.
Hey, brother. Yeah, I just want to say, like, straw men are bad, but middlemen are worse. And that's exactly the example you're seeing here, because their products are shot. Let's ask him how much money he made for his investors, because guess what? They don't get paid on performance. They get paid on their assets under management. So, of course, when you got somebody like Richard coming up saying you don't need any of these middlemen, you could do this yourself, cut them out of the loop, and keep the money for yourself, decide what you want to do. Of course, they're going to have a problem with that. I don't see how nobody else sees it. Guys, this is the middlemen revolt. We don't need those guys. They haven't done shit for us, and their products are lame. And now it's a different time. You can do this stuff all on your own. You don't need that anymore. So yeah, they're gonna say every nasty imaginable thing they can about their competition. That's all it is.
Yeah, like we are the shining city on the hill. All of our trading is on chain. All of our liquidity is on chain. The history of everybody's trades on chain. Uptime, 100%. Multiple front ends, multiple like teams that built them. Totally decentralized. Totally.
You want disclosure? Sorry, Richard.
Go ahead.
This whole thing is coming down to disclosure. Guys, nothing on the blockchain has the type of disclosure standards that heck you can literally go and look at every transaction, who's doing it, wallet to wallet, trace it through. You know what they asked CZ Binance about this the other day? They said if decentralized exchanges have this great innovation where you can audit, you can go through, it's all traceable. Why don't you do that in Binance? And he made this argument against privacy. It's a privacy concern for him, right? So he wants to know everything that you're doing. We're going to find out that I'm sure they were front running their own customers. I'm sure they were selling order flow, the exact same MO that Robinhood had. We're going to find all this stuff out because guess whose privacy they're not concerned about? Yours.
Yeah, I agree. It's just so weird to me. Like we do everything better, and then everyone says the literal opposite to me, and it makes me sad. It's like, oh, Richard, you've got volatility in your thing. Yeah, mostly volatile to the upside. So like, yeah, people prefer that. Anyway, I got to go, man. I'll see you later, guys.
Richard, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Richard.
Thanks for coming on.